This crypto cycle is behaving very healthy. We are right where we are supposed to be. And yet there is a lot of fear in the market. There is a lot of uncertainty and there is a lot of doubt, aka people are flooding their own bags. They think we can never go up. It's a new day. It's a new day like every day, but it's a new week as well, like every week as well, of course. But I want to go over some charts to see what's happening right now. Bitcoin is going up a little bit. The altcoin market is going up a little bit. But what about the real pump finally? And what about the famous rate cuts? Is it going to save the day or is it going to crash everything? Let's get over that, man. I'm excited. I'm very excited. Why? Because we are gonna make it. It's simple. It's simple. Doesn't matter. Even if we crash today, tomorrow, this month, next month, it doesn't matter. As long as you do not sell, then you will do fine. Fortunately, a lot of people, they do sell right now because they think the cycle is over. Yeah, then your cycle is over. But the cycle is not over, man. It's not over. And I can show you a couple of things why I think that. So, yeah, welcome to the Fomo Factory. Like the video? I really like it. Not just hear me say like the video, but actually, come on, man. It's like, I don't have a lot of viewers already, right? Everybody is leaving crypto. People that are still here on this channel. Oh, geez. Subscribe, turn the bell notification on, and let's get right into it. Is my camera crooked? I don't give a shit. I don't matter. So this is a chart that I have in front of me, which I think is super important to take a look at because we usually, well, let's start with something else and let's get back to this later. First off, Bitcoin. Wow, what a party, man. Well, Bitcoin is not doing super fantastic. If you do not count this wick right here, then we have made a lower low. But then again, there was also a wick base, right? So it kind of depends on how you look at it. But Bitcoin is, yeah, in a downward trend. We have lower lows, lower highs. And people are now kind of freaked out that they saw a new low. Right? Like, oh, 52,000, how can that be? Well, we are in the downtrend. That's quite predictable, isn't it? Right? So, yeah, we could see some lower prices for sure. Especially in September, we talked about the rate cuts earlier on the channel as well. And if you take a look at the previous rate cuts that we had back in 2019, all the way back there, we had the rate cuts. Everybody was happy until we got a 50% crash after, right? Also, alt season started at around the same time. People, I said it on Twitter, and people were like, crash and alt season? Yeah, crash and alt season. If you look at the Bitcoin dominance right here, we had the rate cuts. Bitcoin had a final rally where it completely, fucked the altcoin market in the butt. But after that, the altcoin market was like, okay, my turn to use this whatever, my turn, right? And there we had the start of an alt season. Although prices on the dollar pair were going down, altcoins were outperforming Bitcoin. So that was technically an alt season. A very disappointing one at the beginning, at least. But later on, when the Bitcoin dominance went down even further and Bitcoin started to go up, it was a real party for the altcoin maxis because here you can see that altcoins finally recovered and yet the dominance went down. So that's why altcoins were really going sky high. And in one of the last videos, I said that it would not surprise me if something similar would happen, right? Because so far, we have seen no rate cuts yet, but we have seen already a good correction on the altcoin market. If you compare that to the last cycle, and I want to make the same kind of video as what I did before as well, but very quickly to recap. So far from the mid-cycle peak, we have seen a 59% crash in the altcoin market. And if you compare that to the last cycle, we have seen a 59% crash as well. 60, but I didn't draw it right. So we had the same type of crash, right? Yet now people feel like, yeah, well, but this time, not this time, also last time, right? And last time also we had a big ass run after that. Only thing, and I'm not really sure about yet, therefore I'm not really buying and selling at the moment, is what will happen once we get the rate cuts, right? Because here we saw the crash while we already got rate cuts. Now we see the crash, but rate cuts are still coming. Is it maybe kind of priced in that here we did not know what to expect when it comes to rate cuts and crypto at all? Here, we maybe do and feel like, oh yeah, we're going down by then, so let us already go down. Thank you. Maybe that's it. Maybe it means that this was like for something different, a different reason, right? And that we still get the rate cut crash. It is possible. To be completely honest, I don't have the answer to that. I know people love to speculate like, yeah, no, this is gonna happen. Of course, like I went to the future and I saw that this is gonna happen. So what the fuck are you talking about, right? Some people said, nah, no, that's going to happen. Like, let's be honest, we don't know. We can speculate, but still, we can be wrong in that speculation, and I don't want to have all my money there. So therefore, I'm mainly in crypto, but also have a good part in cash, and I want to keep it like that till way after the rate cuts to see what happens. But the altcoin market for now, you know, also in a big downtrend, lower lows, lower highs. So now that we have a little bounce, people might feel a little better about themselves. But don't forget that in a couple of weeks, we can make new cycle lows, actually. And I don't mean lows as in these bottom bear market lows. But if you look at since the run-up, basically, we can definitely go lower, right? So far, that's exactly what has been playing out for the last half year. So why not another month or something like that? But other than that, it doesn't really matter if you are like long-term bullish, right? And you should be long-term bullish. I said this many times, and also on my Twitter, go follow me there if you don't already. There's a thing spinning above where you can see it. But I said there as well, like, what makes you think that this time is different? Has that thesis ever played out for anyone in full crypto's history? Because it didn't, right? And there's always some people that say like, yeah, but now, I don't know, whatever the reason might be. Now this, now that. Like, be my guest. Be my guest. Maybe you are right. Maybe. However, the chance that you are right is very small, and you're going to miss out on the last real good bull run that we are probably going to get. So be careful with thinking that this time is actually different. The odds are very much against you. So whether we go down in the short midterm, I don't know. I don't care, really, actually, because I'm pretty faithful that, in the long term, and with the long term, I mean a year and a quarter maybe, we go way higher, right? And so far, this is very comparable to what we have seen right here. And if we're now 50% down, then it kind of means that we're somewhere around here, right? Which are the lows, right? Yeah, here we had COVID, but that was a black swan. So I'm not going to say like, yeah, we can go lower, because there could be a black swan. That could happen anytime, of course. You don't want to trade that. Nevertheless, this was a freaking beautiful buying opportunity. And if we are actually somewhat comparable to where we were here, at this place, then I cannot be bearish. Right? And I am definitely saving money for if we go low. And now, there are some things I want to talk about alt season real quick again, because that's where the real money is made, right? Bitcoin is where you can steadily make money without too much risk. Altcoins is where you take a fuckload of risk. And if it eventually works out, which it does not often in a cycle, then you can make a lot of money, right? Problem is, people are in altcoins all the time and they lose money all the time, of course, because 3 years out of 4 year cycle is not the time for altcoins. That time is coming next year, okay? 2025 is going to be magical. Unfortunately, none of y'all going to be there because you think this time is different, right? Whatever. Can't help you. For the people that do stick around, I think we are going to get rewarded for that. Not many people believe in it anymore. And as we know, the market likes to do what people don't expect, right? So if we are the few people that still expect a cycle to play out, against the masses that don't expect it anymore, I think that we are going to be the winners. Bitcoin dominance, I think it should top somewhere at this level. I've been saying this for a couple of weeks now, based on the trend that we are having right here, based on a couple of other charts, right? If you look at others divided by their Bitcoin market cap, you can see that it's nicely trying to form a bottom right here. ETH Bitcoin looks like it wants to form a bottom right here. if you look at the altcoin dominance, you can see that this parallel channel, which has been active for 10 years, we are sitting at the bottom, and actually we're now pumping a little bit off of that bottom. You know, that's because the Bitcoin dominance is now going down, and it happens to be when the other's dominance is sitting at the bottom. So the timing could not be more perfect, actually. Now, a chart that I did not include in all these altcoin season kind of reasons is the Bitcoin dominance excluding stablecoins, right? Because this is the Bitcoin dominance. So this is just simply showing how much Bitcoin is dominating compared to everything else in this crypto space. But who gives a shit how much Bitcoin is dominating compared to dollars, right? You're either in Bitcoin or in altcoins if you want to have exposure. So let's take away those dollars and see how Bitcoin is actually doing compared to altcoins. And then this is the chart that you get now. What stood out to me is that I've drawn this line a long time ago and we finally broke it, right? So the Bitcoin dominance is still in an uptrend, right? And we didn't include USDC, USDT, DAI, and BUSD. So there are some small stable coins, but you know, who's in any other stable coins basically than these four? Sorry, coffee is more important than crypto. Now, we broke it. However, we broke it towards a level which I think is super interesting. Because look what happened, for example, with the Bitcoin dominance last cycle, right? You take Fibonacci from the top to the bottom, and look where we got rejected eventually. 618, right? 618. Here we got a final retest of the 618 and went fully into alt season. Now, if we apply the 618 on the chart without the stable coins, then, or if we apply Fibonacci right there, what did I say? 618? I don't know, more coffee. Then we can see this. We are now sitting at the 618, basically, right? Maybe a little wick, but do you want to time it like, well, we're sitting there. So that kind of also confirms my belief that an altcoin season is now finally brewing. And again, I will not be that type of YouTuber that says the complete 4-year cycle, like alt season coming, like fuck off. But now I think that if people say it, it could be true, right? It could be true. There are just simply too many charts which you can use to look for an alt season, saying that alt season is probably coming. Or it has to break every kind of support and resistance on every single chart out there. Could happen. However, it's not likely. And what backs it up? The fact that we are approaching the post-halving year. Right? And the post-halving year is the only year that's been worth it for altcoins. If you look at altcoins on the Bitcoin pair, we had the halving year right here, went down. 2017, we had our first alt season. Here we had the halving year, nothing really happened. 2021, we had our second alt season. Now we had the halving. Again, we went down, maybe a little sideways for the rest of the year. And then we could have our third alt season. The timing matches the charts really perfectly. So I'm stacking up on good quality altcoins. And I think the key right here to see what kind of altcoins you should be in is just look like, hey, which altcoins have already been performing, right? Especially during this part. This was not alt season, but this was a period where altcoins slightly outperformed, right? From June 2023 till December. For half a year, altcoins did better than Bitcoin. You can technically say that this was a very small, short-lived alt season-ish kind of thing. But it's the period where you want to compare it to, because if we're going to do this, then we already had a preview right here, right? So from June till December 2023. So what you want to do if you have certain altcoins that you're looking at, what I think you want to do is, for example, AVEX, look at them on their Bitcoin pair and look like, hey, June till December 2023, right? What happened right there? Well, if we look at AVAX, for example, we have June, which was here, till, was this December? Yeah, December 2023. 180%, right? So this outperformed Bitcoin by almost 3x. That's quite a lot compared to the overall altcoin market doing 72%. So AVAX in this cycle apparently is an outperformer once the market allows. In my opinion, again, end of the year, the market is going to allow. So I'm stacking up on AVAX. That's it. That's how I play it, right? I don't think for the people that were there in the last cycle, I don't think it's going to be as easy as last cycle, where you could really close your eyes, open your Binance account, scroll, click, buy, and that altcoin would have made you money. There's too many right now. There's way too many right now. They will all catch something probably. Well, not all, but most of them will catch something. But the real winners, you want to see, do they have strength? Right? And of course, you want to research like, why do they have strength? Well, for example, AVAX as their subchains, sidechains, and the whole gaming, being a good chain in the first place, by the way, Godzilla coming to it, blah, 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 blah. It backs it up. More about altcoin season in another video though. But this is how I look at the market at the moment. Short term, bearish until we break this trend, right? And yeah, will I be the type of person that says right here, like we're gonna break it before we do? No, right? Wish I could do that. But if I would try that, I would make too many wrong calls. What I do is I'm not predicting, I'm just reading charts, okay? You can do the same as I do. But what I do is basically being bearish or cautious until we break. And then I will flip bullish, right? And then you might be like, yeah, you're too late. Yeah, but whatever, like now we at least know, right? I want to take as much risk off the table as possible. That's for me the way to approach it. You can, of course, be bullish in a complete downtrend. At a certain point, you will be right. But how much money would you have lost in the meantime? That's kind of what you want to ask yourself. So that's it for now for these kind of charts. Now, also, like I said, for the people that still that feel like, hey, this time is different, please, I want to preach for you because it is not. Right? And that's super bullish. So everybody that is not bullish right now is basically saying that this time is going to be different. And again, not a single time was, even during COVID, right? The whole world was on lock. The financial system completely collapsed. Well, not completely collapsed, but it was fucked up, right? There was a lot of shit going on in the whole wide world. And even that time was not different for a bit. Right, so be very careful when you say this is going to be different. And therefore, you want to be bullish. Because if it's the same, then we should expect a big pump next year. Because that's what happened in the last two cycles as well. And so far, this cycle is identically to the last two cycles. It's scary how much it looks like it, right? So for the people that don't know what this chart is, this is Bitcoin with the ROI after the cycle bottom. So in this case from 15K, but the last two cycles from 3K and from, what was the cycle before that, 1200? No, I don't even know. But how much it went up since the bottom. And the growth is exactly the same. So that's kind of beautiful, if you ask me. Now, what's also interesting is that crypto looks long-term super bullish. And people, the red line is people, don't give a shit, right? That's also why we're going to make it. Because we are one of the few people that actually sees that this is super bullish. We get a buying opportunity right now, right? Buying opportunities are when prices are low, right? But also when prices are low, people get scared, so they don't take it as an opportunity. It's the one or the other. Either you see it as an opportunity and you go for it, or you don't have the balls and you walk away. And most people, they don't have the balls and walk away. And they come back later when they see like, oh, this time wasn't different. Yeah, now you're too late, right? Therefore, you want to take the rewards. You're going to get the rewards if you take the risk. But there's not a lot of risk in the market at this moment. It feels like it for people, but there isn't. If we take a look at the logarithmic regression band, love this platform. Shout out to Benjamin Cohen. I am a happy subscriber of this platform. This has a lot of charts, which I think are super helpful for my whole crypto journey. Yeah, so shout out to him for that. The logarithmic regression band is basically how Bitcoin moves over time, right, since the beginning. And also, if you look at that, right, to give you your daily dose of opium, but also, I think, very common shit right here. Green is buy, red is sell. We are now in the green. Don't make it harder than it is, guys, right? We are at the lower regression band right now. Even in a bull market, in the real peak of the bull market, we always get at least very near to the top or at the top. All right? Everyone. Every single bull market. Here we went very close to the top. Here we went right in it. Here we went right in it. And here we touched it as well. Right? Now, for so far, we didn't even leave the lower regression band. And it's not because this time is different. No. We went into this regression band in May 2022. We're now 2 years later, basically. Right? How long did it take right here? Well, we went in it in January 2015 and we got out of it in May 2017. It was 2.5 years. It's not different. And what happened after that, we went to the red band, right? Now, 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of history. They all went there, right? What if we also go there this time? Which the odds are very much in our favor, right? Well, by the end of 2025, where the market cycle always peaks, at least in the end of the post-halving year, the upper band sits between 300 and 450K. It sounds crazy, but here it sounded even crazier, right? Here, when we were sitting at, $12, and somebody said, well, if we peak there end of the year, it sits at $900, and they were sitting at 12 back then. People would have sent you to a mental hospital, right? From 10 to 900, 90 times as high. What the fuck? And it happened. And here it happened. And here it happened. And here it happened. It sounds far away, but this is actually the smallest growth out of all the 4-year cycles, right? Because diminishing returns. But it's the smallest one. And it always sounds unrealistic, and then it happens. That's so beautiful about crypto. That's what I love so much. People are long-term way not bullish enough. Way not bullish enough. This is an interesting one. If you look at the ROI after the cycle peak, and then we have to take it to the peak. Here we are a little extended. So if you looked at the first chart, it was after the bottom. We are right on track. However, here it's after the peak. And we are a little, we're faster than the previous 2 cycles. So that's also the reason why things for the last half a year are maybe so boring, right? Look, Bitcoin was following the last 2 cycles exactly until here, day number 708 or so. Here we started to outperform the other 2 cycles. And now Bitcoin is just like, wait, I have to take a break. Right? This is not average. So we're going down, sideways, and we're almost there to meet the other 2 cycles. And then we can continue our way up. Same as this cycle right here. This cycle right here went way above this one right here. And was like, hey, exactly same, right? We're going too fast. Let's go a little sideways down, and then we meet. And then we go together to the moon. And it's also understandable if you understand what Bitcoin is, right? Bitcoin is not a currency, right? It's an asset. It's an asset like a house or whatever. And assets is what you want to have in times, every time basically, where the dollar is worth less, right? What good is it to be in a currency if that currency is worth less? You want to be in an asset that maintains that value or even goes up in value. Bitcoin is the number 1 asset in the world that does that. Number 1. And therefore, it's kind of designed to go up. Also, because the more Bitcoin does that, the more people realize that, and you know, green makes people buy, right? And there's not a thing greener than Bitcoin, right? So yeah, it's designed to go up over time. Oh yeah, that's interesting. By the way, if we do take a look, and I want to wrap it up, I think at the bull market support band is a moving average that we talked about quite a lot on this channel. However, we kind of lost it, man. We completely lost it. We lost it, and it doesn't mean that we're not in the bull market anymore. Look, it kind of depends. What do you find as a bull market, right? Look, my how I look at it is just from the bottom until the next stop, and everything in between is a bull market. But if we go up, down, sideways, flip flop, hula hoop, whatever, that's just noise, right? So if you look at the cycle here, for example, right, you could say like, oh, here we started the bull market, here we went out of the bull market, here we were in a small bull market, here we went out of the bull market, here we were in a bull market, out of it, in it, right? This was bull market, this ended the bull market, and in the meantime, it was a mindfuck, right? And now it's kind of the same thing. So yeah, we lost it. We're now below it, right? The bull market support band comes in at around 60K. We're now sitting at 55, so we're pretty far away. It doesn't really matter. If you look at it right here as well, right? We had the bull market support band coming in at around $9,000, and at a certain point we were sitting at $6,000. Well, 8 and 6. That was a bigger difference than what we are seeing right here. So still, it's nothing concerning. It's for the people that are really doubting. No, this is not a bear market. The cycle is it's at least not over. If you really, really, really are scared that it is, then you know, take a part out of it, I would guess. But you know, I would also say, hey, leave some money in crypto. You'll never know, right? I mean, maybe this time is also not different. And in that case, you want to have some exposure, I would say. No, I'm like, my concerns are zero at this moment. What I will do, though, is they'll do what I will do is next year I'm gonna go dollar cost out, right? And not necessarily in January already, but I'm also not waiting completely until December. What I would do is I just slowly from Q2 start to little bit DCA out, and then in the Q4 I'm gonna offload probably the rest, or at least a big amount of what I have left. But I'll come back to that later. That's my strategy. I'm not saying that that should be yours, right? I want to leave it here though. Let me know. I think I'm gonna review some altcoins as well, because look, one last thing. Yes, altcoins can take a fucking nuclear hit. Okay, in the meantime. So if you put $10,000 in the market right now because you're bullish, be prepared to only have $4,000 left in maybe 2 months. Could definitely happen. But that's losing half, right? Give or take. That's worth it compared to the potential gains that you can make out of that 10K as well. I think you can easily turn that into 100K if you play it right, and maybe even more. Depends on how risky you want to go. But yeah, we can take a big hit. Definitely. The last video that I dropped was actually kind of bearish, because that was more covering the midterm. But I usually just discuss the long term, because investing is, for me, at least a full cycle, right? I'm not going to invest now and cash out next month. That's just trading. That's not what I'm doing. So yeah, no, I want to leave it here. Guys, thanks for watching. Give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on. I'll see you next time.